class 3 of our summer series. Really excited about this class today because I'm telling you that I've made a lot of changes in my career over the 23 years that I've been in business. And some of the things I'm going to teach you today are absolutely the most vital things that I have learned. So let's get started. How's everybody doing today? I know I can't hear you back, but I thought that would be fun. So let's do a little housekeeping first. First and foremost, you guys, take a few minutes and shut off or mute your cell phone. Dedicate the next hour to learning. It's really important that you spend some time learning about your business. I'm going to tell you that what's interesting to me is that, you've heard me say this before probably, is that athletes and celebrities are two of the highest paid people in the world. And they spend way more time practicing than they do actually playing. So are you setting and dedicating some time to learning what you need to do in your business? Next, if you have a question during the presentation, just type your question into the chat bar below. I'm not quite sure how it works if you're just on the phone, but if you're on the webinar, you can type your question into the chat bar below, and we will be sure to get your questions answered. All right, so today's topics. Today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk how to work when you want. Now you're probably laughing, saying, well, aren't real estate agents 24 hours, 7 days a week? We have no life. Well, yes, that's how most agents work, but we're going to talk to you today about really creating a schedule that you can live with and to be able to work when you really want to work. And the next part we're going to talk about is how to delegate what you hate. I always find it fascinating that people have this long list of things that they don't want to do and how much time is wasted doing busy work with stuff that you don't want to do. So we're going to dive into that a little bit today too. All right, so let's first start to create a schedule you can work with. Here's an interesting quote that I thought was pretty entertaining. It says, ordinary people think merely of spending time. Great people think of using it. So are you sitting down and taking some time to think about how you're going to really use your time? That's really important. And most people don't. They just kind of fly by the seat of their pants, kind of graze through the day, not really having any idea of what they're going to do. You know, many of you start your day by first things first, checking your email. And guess what happens? You get, 187 emails and your day just went to hell in a handbasket. So if that sounds like you, we're going to talk about what we can do to help you out a little bit today. Okay, so how many of you even have a schedule? Like, when was the last time you sat down and looked at a schedule and really determined what was most important to you? You know, Ed DaCosta, who does a lot of training with John Maxwell, talks a lot about how many hours you have in a week and how much of that is getting planned. Are you really laying your week out and determining what is most important to you and putting the most important priorities for you in your schedule first? Or do you just let your day dictate your life? So let's talk about a few different ways that you can sort your time. First of all, we're going to color code this schedule, and I encourage you guys to take some time and print out a sample schedule like this. We also have this stuff available in our TuesdayTuneUps.com subscription product you can check out. But I can tell you that I started by determining what my hours of operation were and doing everything that I could to stick to that schedule. One of the things that I do in my initial presentation with clients is I tell them what my business hours are, when I'm available to work. And it goes something like this. My schedule is I work Monday through Fridays, I work evenings and Saturdays by appointment, and I take Sundays off to be with my family. Now, I'll tell you that clients are always respectful of my schedule. What's interesting is the people who are not respectful of my schedule are other real estate agents. I mean, even on my voicemail, I talk about when I'm available and when I'm not. For example, I had a brand new lead call last night, left a message on my voicemail, and on his voicemail, he said, oh, it looks like I'm calling after normal business hours, but I'll look forward to your call tomorrow morning. So he heard my hours, respected those hours, and still left a message and is interested in working with me. So the problem is that many of you feel like if you don't take a call 24/7, you're going to lose a deal. And I'm here to tell you that when you set boundaries and set a schedule, people will be respectful of it. So in this, we're going to talk about 3 different ways to color code your time. For me, everything that is considered personal time, I color code it red. Why do I color code it red? Because that's so important to me that I want to make sure that I stop and make that personal time a priority. The next time is productive time. It's when am I actually being productive? When am I working on my business, finding ways to improve our skill, do training, do different things like that, preparing for my week, preparing for my day. That's yellow time. Priority time is go time. That's when it's time that you're really in front of clients. You're out making money. You're showing property, working with clients, doing listing appointments. You're doing things that are revenue generating activities. So it's really important that you really break this down into these 3 color codes so that you stay focused on what is most important to you. All right, so let's look at a sample schedule, for example. Here's what my typical schedule looks like. You can see that in the mornings, I go and I work out. I prepare breakfast for my boys. Well, luckily this schedule is a little bit older because my boys are grown and I make them cook their own breakfast now. But getting the kids off to school, and I usually start my day between 8:30 and 9. You'll see that I spend a few minutes checking messages, seeing what's urgent for the day. I have meetings with my team. I have green time scheduled in there for client lunches, client appointments, presenting offers, getting new listings, different things like that. The yellow time, as you can see, is meeting times. It's when I'm meeting with agents. It's when I'm meeting with my managers. It's when I'm preparing for Tuesday tune-ups. At the end of the day, you can see I schedule some time to return calls and emails, check messages, that kind of thing. But you'll also see in the red time important things like go home. Go home, shut off your phone, take some time to be with your family. You'll also see on there some friends time. If any of you guys have sat through my goals versus priorities class, you'll see the importance of spending time with your friends. And most important there on Friday night is date night with the hubby. So how many of you are actually taking time and breaking out what is most important to you? Now, I can already hear your questions saying, but what if a client needs to go see property? Well, obviously this schedule is not exactly set in stone, which means it's not the end of the world if you change things around. But what I find is that what happens is everything gets bumped. You know, my friend Kathy Courtney used to wear these buttons around that said no more real estate orphans, because I can't tell you how many kids have been orphaned by us crazy real estate agents because everything else has taken priority over spending time with our family and our children. So is that you? Are you bumping dinner? Are you constantly out there, you know, running and picking up fast food somewhere because you were out showing property and didn't take the time to prepare for your kids and your household? So take the time to sit down, and this can change every week. And I'm here to tell you there's times when a client can't always fit into my Thursday afternoon appointments. But guess what? If Thursday afternoon comes along and I don't have any client appointments, that's a perfect time for me to be doing lead generation. It's a perfect time for me to be doing prospecting and calling for how to get new business. So what you can do is you can chunk things into time blocks when you're available to do things. One of my favorites too is you'll see Wednesday afternoons is to sit down, take time to organize some time to work on different projects. Being able to plug things into these different types of blocks helps you really stay way more focused on what is most important. Now, I will tell you that 99% of the time clients are extremely respectful of this. Now, again, there's sometimes that I adjust things. For example, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, many times I will adjust my schedule to allow for going out and showing property to clients during that time. There are times when we're busier than other times, right? So there's certain seasons of the year where sometimes it takes precedence to get out and show people property. But it's so much easier to really chunk people into time blocks. For example, tomorrow, I have my day blocked out to where I'm showing property to 3 different clients. I've really been focused on trying to coordinate them all into one day so I can be super focused tomorrow on showing property, whereas this afternoon I can be focused on preparing for all of those showings tomorrow. So I encourage you to sit down, take a blank schedule, divide things into the 3 color codes like we've just talked about, and block it out. It's not set in stone. It's not perfect, but it's something that you can constantly work on trying to improve. You'll notice too on here that I block out Saturdays and Sundays as days off. Do I always take Saturdays and Sundays off? No. I will tell you that I always take Sundays off. I started early on in my career, and I've been doing this for 23 years now. And I can tell you that there have only been a handful of times I've worked on Sunday, and it's primarily for relocation clients that are coming in from out of town. But 99% of people will be respectful of the fact that you don't work on Sunday. Even if they go through open houses, even if they're talking to other agents, all you have to do is help your clients understand ahead of time what your schedule is like. And if they're loyal to you, and if you've spent time establishing that relationship, then they're going to be completely respectful of that. All right, so that's our schedule. Now we're going to